You can completely factor a polynomial by dividing by its known factor. So I have a polynomial right here. And they told me that this is a factor. So I can factor this. If I set this equal to 0, what do I get? 4. So that goes out here. And I'm going to do all of the coefficients. So 1, then -5, 2, and then 8. We're going to do synthetic division. You bring down the first coefficient and you multiply. Then you add. Then you multiply. Then you add. And then you multiply. 8 minus 8, that's 0. So guys, that means this is a solution because I got nothing for my remainder. My remainder was 0. That means 4 is a solution. They also told you that this was a factor anyway. So I already knew that 4 was a solution. So I know that x equals 4 is one of my answers. Let's finish the synthetic division process. I started out with a cubed. So what is this one going to be? Exactly. It'll be an x squared. All right. So now, guys, I can continue factoring. I know how to factor quadratics. I can do an eye chart. I need two numbers that multiply to -2, add to -1. -2 and 1. So that means my factors are x minus 2 and x plus 1. So here are all of my factors. This is the factor they gave me. And these are the two that I found. So these are my factors because it says use division to write this polynomial in factored form. So these are the factors. They're in factored form. So guys, if it asks for my solutions, let's write out my solutions. I know from this one, you'll get 4. From this one, what will you get? 2. Good, x equals 2. And what would you get from this one? -1. Perfect, -1. If I even want to combine what I learned yesterday, I can graph these. Here's one x-intercept. Here's another one. Here's another one. I know that this is a third-degree polynomial, so I'm going to start down here, end up here. Do you guys know what the y-intercept is? 8. Very good. How did you guys say figure out 8? If you plug in zeros for all these x's, those just go away. You're left with 8. So your y-intercept is just 0, 8. It's the constant term. So I'm just going to say right here is 8. That's my y-intercept. Okay, so let's graph it. Did any of my answers repeat? That means the multiplicity is what? So the multiplicity is 1. That's odd. So if it's odd, what do I do at each of these x-intercepts? Yep, I'm going to intersect it. I'm going to cross them. So we're going to start down here, cross that x-intercept, go up here, cross this one, cross that one. So that's what your graph would look like. Okay, we set this equal to 0 and get 7. So your first coefficient is 1. We're missing the squared term, so I'm going to put a 0 in the squared spot. Then I'm going to have -37 and -84. Okay, so now we're going to bring down the first coefficient and multiply. That's 7, add 7. 7 times 7, 49. Add these two, what do we get? 12? Yep. 7 times 12 is 84. You add them, you get 0. So that means I can continue factoring here. This will become an x squared plus 7x plus 12. How can we factor this? Yep, 4 and 3. So this will be x plus 4 and x plus 3. Because 4 times 3 will give you the 12. 4 plus 3 will give you the 7. So all of my factors are x minus 7, x plus 4, and x plus 3. These are my factors. What are my zeros? 7, -4, and -3. Great, I'll put it in order. All right, so those are my zeros. Great. Now, none of these repeated, so my multiplicity is 1 for all of these. All of these have multiplicity of 1. That means you're going to go through each of these points. So here's -4, -3, and I'll say 7 is right here. And what's my y-intercept? Yes, -84 is my y-intercept. -84 is the y-intercept. I'm just going to say it's down here, -84. Okay, guys, this is a cubic. Can you draw on the air what it should look like? Good, Datu. Okay, so it's going to go like this. So I'm going to start down here. I have to cross all of the x-intercepts because the multiplicities are odd. I'm going to go down here and then cross there. Should look something like that. Here's the next example. Would you use synthetic division here? Why not? Yep, the coefficient is not 1. The coefficient here is 2. Synthetic division, you can use it. It would just be difficult because you'd have a fraction, right? If you set this equal to 0 and solved it, you'd get -5/2. So you would be dividing, or you would be multiplying by -5/2 each time. That sounds difficult to me. So synthetic division is not advised when this isn't 1. So you're going to have to do long division. Go ahead and try it. How we do long division? All right, Henry, 2 times what is 6? 2 times what will give me 6? All right, so we're going to multiply. 2 times 3 is 6. X times x squared is, there we go. So we get 6x cubed. All right, I'm going to call on you again. 5 times what is what? Sorry, 5 times 3 is what? 15, and then I have an x squared. Henry, what do I do after this step? Exactly. Subtract them, or we call it changing the sign. So that cancels out. I'm left with -14x squared. We're going to bring this next one down. All right. Belle, help me out. 2x times what will give me -14x squared? Very good. Okay, we're going to multiply. Can you tell me what we get? 2x times -7x?
Wait. X squared.
Good. And then do the next number. 5 times -7?
-3.
That's it? X. Now what do I do after this step?
Solve it.
I change the signs. So those cancel. All right. So what will this become? 8x. We're going to bring down the 20. All right. Zara, help me out. 2x times what will give me this 8x? 4. Help me multiply. 2x times 4? 8x. And 5 times 4. What do I do after here? Change the signs. So guys, my remainder is 0, which is what I wanted. So since my remainder is 0, that confirms that this is a factor. This is a factor. That means that's also going to produce my 0. So guys, 2x plus 5, set it equal to 0 and solve it. Okay? All right, so let's solve it. I'm going to subtract 5. And then I'm going to divide by 2. So guys, that's one of my zeros. -5/2 is one of my zeros. Okay, Do you guys know what I should do after this step? Factor what? Exactly, this up here. Let's factor that. So I'm going to do that over here. I have 3x squared minus 7x plus 4. I'm going to multiply these two to get 12. All right, Jocelyn, what numbers did you get for this?
Negative.
Good, -3 and -4. Those multiply to 12 and add to -7. So we do 3x squared minus 3x minus 4x plus 4. Split it here. All right, Bailey, what did you divide these two by? Good, 3x. So 3x is out here. Henry, what's left over? Good. Henry, what'd you divide by here? Good, by -4. So out here is -4. Can you tell me what's left over? Exactly. You see how those match? That goes in one of your parentheses. That's one of your factors. And what's on the outside goes in your other parentheses, 3x minus 4. So guys, I have all of my factors, the ones I just found and the one that they gave me. They said this is a factor as well. So this is my factored form. I'll just put this on the back. So guys, this is what the problem asks for, factored form. Here's the factors. Now, we're going to take it a step further. I want all of my other zeros. So, Abigail, what does this one give me, the 0? 1. Dwight, what is the other one? Good, 4/3. So guys, these are all of my solutions, and these are my factors. So you can always graph it. So -5/3 is over here at 2.5. One is right here, and 4/3 is a little bit over 1, so I'll put it right here. And this is cubic, so it's going to look like this. My y-intercept is at 20, so I'll just call this 20. So it would go like this. There you go. Real quick, y'all did a great job. Everyone had it. You guys factored this into x minus 3 and x plus 3. That means the answers are what? 3 and -3. Those are your x-intercepts. 3, 0, and -3, 0. What's your y-intercept? Yep, plug in 0. That's 0. So you get -9 when you plug in a 0. So that's your y-intercept. So I'm going to graph those things. -9 right here. X-intercepts are right here. So I know that this is an even degree. So it has to look like this. So I'm going to start up here, go through, just like that. Both of my end behaviors are positive. Both ends of my graph are facing up. On the left side, it's facing up, so this one is infinity. On the right side, it's facing up, so this one's infinity. All right, guys, for this one. All right, Larabe, in order to find your x-intercepts, you have to factor it. Okay, so what did you do to both sides? Good, divide x squared. Tell me what I'm left with. Good, what did you divide this side by? Good, -9. And what's left over? X what? Good. These match, so that's one of them. And what's on the outside is your other one. Okay. Henry, are we done here? What can I factor this further as? Perfect. Thank you, Henry. So guys, these are my factors. These are my factors. That means, Prachi, what are my x-intercepts? If these are my factors, what are my x-intercepts? Perfect. All right, so those x-intercepts will now go on my graph, -3, 3, and -1. And last thing, Belle, what is my y-intercept? Perfect, -9. If you put zeros in all of these, what's left over is -9. So I'm going to put -9. I'm just going to estimate it's down here somewhere. Okay, so I'm going to start down here because it's cubic, go through, just like that. So my end behavior, as I go to the left, Dada, what happens as I go to the left? Yes. And as I go to the right, what's happening to my graph?
Positive.
Yep, it's going positive, it's going up, so that's infinity. That's it.